Meet our free US bookkeeping course brought to you by the Borderless Accountants. We are inviting you to join our community. Live training, reputable tax firms as resource speakers, recorded, replayable at higit sa lahat, libre. To join, like and follow our official Facebook page, join our Facebook group for important updates, and fill out our Google form to be included in our mailing list. See you there!
Right. So I'll share with you in the chat the Google Sheet. So I'll share this right about now. Now I'll paste this in the chat. So you can go in this Google Sheet, and I have listed here the date that we will be having session. So as you see, this is from August 28th, starting tomorrow up until September 30, because we aim to finish this by September, right? So that by October we can start with our for business. Right. So what you do is on the date, opposite the date is the presenter. So if you can write your name, that means you will be presenting. Okay. So you will do exactly, or maybe not exactly, how I do it in the session, right? So everyone will be following along or just gonna be watching, and then they will just use the recorded session as their guide when they navigate the QBO course at their own time. So just make sure that you are able, when you present, you will start where the last session left off. Okay? Questions so far? Are we guys clear? Are you guys excited to present? Be the teacher for a day? What do you guys think? Herbert says yes. I love that. Who else is excited to do it? O si Ginalyn, 9:17. Si Jess, 9:20. Oh, bakit ang lalayo na itong mga dates na to?
Kasi I'm on a vacation until second week of September. So after my vacation na. When I get back to Manila.
All
Ay
right.
po, naka-off po ako nung 17. Kaya doon na lang ako.
That's all right. You didn't need to explain. Nagjo-joke lang ako. But, the earlier you guys present, the better, so that, I don't have to do it. But I will be there for the most part. And again, kahit man iba yung nagpe-present, if again you guys have anything to share, anything to add as an input, everybody is welcome to do that. Okay. Next announcement we have is that after the 9 p.m. session, so after we finish with our bookkeeping class, this Zoom room is still actually going to be left open because some of you guys or some of those who already, I don't know how to say this, but some of members of the community are doing the EA review. So and that's led by Ma'am Shawnee and Cherry. So the mother and daughter tandem ng Borderless Accountants. So they do EA review. That means they're doing or they're answering together the questions doon sa GLIME na enrolled agent material. So you can join, pwede kayong manood lang or observe kung, if that's something that piques your interest, or if you're also really keen on taking the enrolled agent exam, that would be a good opportunity for you. Kasi I think it would be good. It's good to actually study in a group, right? Medyo mas nare-retain. All right, so that's the review. And then second to the last announcement, if you guys have not subscribed to the YouTube channel of Borderless Accountant, please do so. You guys are seeing this. Can I check if you're seeing? Yes. Right, so this is the YouTube channel. As you can see, we now are 982. So we have 982 subscribers. Konting-konti na lang, mag 1,000 na. Right, and we have so far uploaded 28 episodes. And then Zara is going to start uploading the material or the recorded materials for bookkeeping as well. So we will soon have two playlists, one for tax prep individual, and then second is for the bookkeeping QBO certification course. Right. So again, if you guys have not subscribed yet, please do so. Malaking tulong sa community. And then finally, talking about enrolled agent. So if you guys have known or have taken the course of Randy Malinaw, he just recently passed his enrolled agent exam. So he's now an EA. He took the exam in Korea 3 days ago and managed to pass it. So good job to him. He's going to be guesting in one of our session. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We're going to be making an announcement as well as to when he would be available to guest in our session. Okay, para mag-share siya ng experience niya in taking the enrolled agent exam. Okay. I guess that's about it. That's the announcements I have for today. Episode 16, yeah, it's available, but we cannot upload the video in YouTube because of restriction. Kasi I don't know, the AI of YouTube is detecting that we are sharing PII, yung personally identifiable information, which is a violation of the community rules. So ayun, hindi siya ina-allow na ma-post. So if you guys would want to see the recorded session, available pa din naman siya sa Facebook na community. Yeah, I have not deleted it. Okay, so that's also one thing. If you are part of the Facebook community, you can look into the featured section so that you can watch the recorded sessions that are not made available in YouTube. Okay. Any other question? All right, no problem, Rohani. Right, so we are gonna start right about now. Pull up ko lang yung aking QuickBooks. Where is my Zoom? I lost it. Oh, there you go. Well, let me share my screen. Right, just making sure you're seeing my screen, correct? Correct. Correct. So you know where to go, right? To be able to get to training. So just if you're already logged on, go to Pro Advisor, click on training, and then start it. It's going to open up another tab. And this should lead us to where we left off yesterday, right? Yesterday, we were able to cover the accounting equation, right? And I think that we're going to be continuing on that. So dito pa rin tayo sa bookkeeping basics. You guys good so far? Everything good?
Yes po.
Yes po.
All right. Wait lang natin mag-load. So same drill. We are still gonna have this session interactive, okay? So tulungan pa rin tayong basa ng lessons. So we're done with this. Oh no. Okay, we're done with this yesterday. We're done with this part. We're done with that part. Right. So I think we finished this yesterday, right? The equity section. Now we're gonna read about balance sheet. Right. Anyone who want to volunteer? Again, first one to raise his or her hand. Yes, Sharina Lynn.
Hello po. The balance sheet. The balance sheet is where everything comes together. It's the document where the accounting equation is found, displaying assets, liabilities, and the business's equity. When you look at the balance sheet, you see how the business's assets are financed, liabilities are, and equity provide the fuel to acquire those assets. The balance sheet shows the relationship between what the business owns, what it owes, and how much the owners have invested.
All right. Thank you there, Shanina. So let's zoom this in. This is an example of a balance sheet, right? So balance sheet is this balance sheet example is as of May 13, 2024. So this is the business's financial position as of this date, right? So as you can see, where you can find the accounting equation is here, asset. And then the total assets, as you can see, is 49,360.79. And then below that is are the liabilities, which is 76, and then equity 49 to 84.79. So the total of your liabilities and your equity is 49,360.79, same total as your assets, right? So they cannot be not balanced. So they have to be balanced because it's a balance sheet, right? And also, again, because we're following the accounting equation wherein asset is equal liabilities plus your equity. And that's what does it tell you? It tells you that the business owns an asset of 49,360, 76 of which is owned by creditors, right? That means 76 of the assets are owned by creditors. And then 49,000 of that is owned by the owners, right? So makikita mo dito, malaki yung capitalization ni business owner, right? Because konti lang yung utang niya. So as you can read here, one information that the balance sheet tells you is the relationship between what the business owns, what it owes, and how much the owners have invested. So again, clear from this example that the business owner has invested heavily on this business. Kunti lang yung utang niya. Baka malamang ito ay accounts payable pa. Right? So this is heavily financed by the owner. So understanding these elements gives you a clear picture of a business financial health, and you can assess liquidity, solvency, as well as the overall stability. So question, given this example, do you think that the business is stable? And why? Ganon, parang Moyiti Queen. So do you think that given this example, is it your opinion that the financial health of the business is stable?
Yes, very much stable.
Why?
Because a payable is only a little amount, and then you can pay it anytime.
All right, perfect. So this is very stable because almost 99% of the business is owned by the owner, right? Magiging unstable yan kapag majority of the business is owned by the creditor, right? So, thank you. Was it Mary Chris?
Yes po.
So let's check our knowledge. In this example, we will answer this question. Anyone who wants to volunteer, including reading this portion here until the choices or the options. Anyone? Yes, Marlene. Go ahead, po.
You are reviewing your clients. Good evening, everyone. Okay, you are reviewing your client's balance sheet. Which of the following items represent assets? A. Money owed to suppliers. B. Investments made by the owners. C. Buildings and equipment. D. Loans taken by the business.
Okay. What is your answer, Marlene?
You are reviewing your client's balance sheet. Which of the following items represent asset? Actually, building, the investment made by the owners, and yeah, that's all.
So, dalawang answer?
Yes.
Tingnan natin kung i-allow tayong dalawa. Isa lang eh.
Isa
So,
lang
which
ba?
one is
So,
the best answer?
building equipment, building and equipment. Asset
Final.
pala, asset. Yeah,
All right.
building and equipment.
Final answer or call a friend?
Final, building and equipment.
Sure ka na ba?
Sure.
Sure na. All right, building and equipment. Why? Because money owed to supplier is what? What
It's
is
a
it?
liability.
Liability. Investments by the owners.
It's owner's equity.
Loans taken by the business. What is it?
It's an asset. It's a fixed asset that you put so you can do your business.
Yeah, but what about loans taken by the business?
Liabilities.
It's a liability.
Okay, good. Good job. So let's check if it's correct. All right, that's right. Assets are the resources or things of value that a business owns, such as cash, inventory, or property. They contribute to the business's financial strength. Another test or another knowledge check. Who wants to volunteer this time? My premium house and lot. Yes, po, Adele. Go ahead.
Good evening. You know how important it is to understand the accounting equation. Which items represent equity in the accounting equation? A, financial obligations of the business. B, total revenue generated by the business. C, debts owed to creditors. And D, investments made by the owners and retained earnings. I think it's D, the last one, investments made by the owners and retained earnings.
Okay, let's check. Financial obligations of the business. What is it?
Liability.
All right. Total revenue generated by the business.
Profit.
Asset.
Profit.
Income.
Income. Okay. Then that's owed to the creditors.
Liability.
Okay. Let's check if we are correct. All right, that's right. The correct answer is investments made by the owners and retained earnings. Equity represents the residual interest in the business's assets after deducting liabilities. It includes the owner's investments as well as the accumulated profits or losses. We'll tackle this probably in the later part, what the accumulated profits or losses are, which is otherwise known as the retained earnings. All right, now we are gonna go to the topic on categorizing transactions. All right. Bakit daw not need i-categorize yung transactions? What does it say? Who can read this part? Anyone? Another house and lot to? Charet, Mylene, go ahead.
Good evening po. Understanding how to categorize transactions accurately allows businesses to track their income, expenses, and assets, providing valuable insights for decision-making and financial reporting. Let's look at the core components of categorizing transactions, revenue, and expenses.
All right. Thank you, Mylene. Singilin mo na lang yung house and lot kay Kelly, ha? All right. I-continue mo na lang to, Mylene. Revenue.
Okay po. Revenue. Revenue represents the income your clients earns through their business operation. It's their gross proceeds from sales, whether that's products, services, rentals, or anything else that brings money into the business.
All right. Continue.
Expenses. Expenses represent the cost of doing business, such as labor cost like salaries and employee benefits, operating costs like utilities, rent, and insurance, and the other essential expenses like taxes and advertising or anything else that keeps their business moving.
All right. Thank you. Tuloy-tuloy mo na to hanggang sa uli.
Sige po. Revenue and expenses come together on the income statement, a document that summarizes a client's financial performance through the calculation of revenue minus expenses. This calculation helps you determine your client net income or net loss for a specified time periods, providing a clear view of their financial journey so they can make informed decision and track the health of their business.
All right. Thank you very much, Mylene. So, kung ang balance sheet is financial position, ang P&L naman is called, shows the financial performance ng business, right? So this is where you can see whether the business made profit or loss during a particular period, okay? Ang period naman, whether it's a month, quarter, semi-annual, or annual, right? So I think this is very self-explanatory naman, ano? P&L, again, that's statement of profit and loss. That's where you can see the revenue and the expenses, right? And you should be used to referring to that as a P&L statement because that's the jargon that the industry is using. Pag sinabi mo sa client, I will give you your P&L at the end of the month. Alam niya yan, profit and loss statement, okay? So sabi dito, in accounting, you will often find negative values noted by being shown in parentheses. For example, open close parentheses 6,000. So usually that's the case, rather than putting negative before the number. All right, knowledge check naman tayo. Who wants to raise? Okay, Janelle, go ahead.
So, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me loudly or clearly?
Yes
Yeah, very
po.
clear.
Okay. So your client owns a business mowing lawns. They completed a mow service for a mini mall and billed the property manager for the service. Which balances will change? First, liabilities and expenses, liabilities and owner's equity, and third is assets and revenue. It's assets and revenue.
Okay. So, sige, Jen, test natin yung knowledge mo, ha? Sige, ikaw nagbasa eh. Charet. So, bakit assets and revenue? Saan dito yung asset? Your clients own a business mowing lawns, and then they completed a mow service for a mini mall and billed the property manager for the service. Saan dyan yung asset?
Accounts receivable.
So, accounts receivable, right? So, meron siyang accounts receivable and then meron siyang revenue, right? So, dito papasok yung ating journal entry, right? The journal entry, para dun sa mga accountants na, ha, huwag kayong, pag hindi pa kayo accountant or first time nyo marinig itong mga terminologies na to, okay lang yan, right? Huwag kayong sumuko, baka mag-out kayo agad sa Zoom, right? So, so journal entry, we are debiting accounts receivable and then we're crediting what? Ano yung credit?
Revenue.
Service revenue.
Service revenue or service
income.
or whatever is your chart of accounts is saying, right? So babalik tayo dun sa chart of accounts. In real life, do you do this? Do you do debit as a, pag gumamit kayo ng QuickBooks Online, do you think you would need to do journal entries? Kailangan niyo bang mag-journal entry para mag-record ng revenue at saka yung asset?
No.
No.
No, right? That's the beauty of QuickBooks Online. Because what you will do is you'll just generate an invoice. Correct? Magsisend lang kayo ng invoice sa sa customer ng client nyo. Right? The moment you enter the invoice and you save it, QuickBooks Online will generate the journal entry for you. Okay? So, hindi nyo na kailangan tandaan na pag nag-invoice ako, AR yan, tapos sales. Hindi nyo kailangan tandaan. Pero, kailangan yung maintindihan. Right? Kailangan yung maintindihan. So, kasi minsan, if natuto lang tayo sa QuickBooks Online by just navigating QuickBooks Online, but we don't know the underlying entries, mahihirapan tayo mag-adjust, mahihirapan tayo mag-correct kung may mga mistakes. Right? That's why hindi natin maiwasan, may advantage na talaga yung mga may accounting background pag nagbo-bookkeeping sila. Kasi they know the underlying transactions. Right? But that does not mean to say na just because wala kang accounting background, hindi ka pwede maging bookkeeper. Yes, you can. Kasi nga sa QuickBooks Online, almost lahat ay automated. Nagkakatalo-talo na lang kapag merong adjustments, may mga incorrect entries na kailangan i-adjust. Then you would need someone na may, or you would need to equip yourself, right? And that's the goal here. That's the goal of this class. Kasi nga, again, we are blessed to be, to have members na may experience na. So sila yung, or tayo, kami yon, kasi included ako dyan. Kami yung magko-contextualize so that hindi lang tayo natututo sa how ng bookkeeping but also the why. Kasi may benefit din yan sa amin na mga tax preparer na alam ng bookkeeper yung ginagawa niya sa books. Right? Kasi, share ko lang to, in practice, marami talagang bookkeepers na hindi alam yung ginagawa. Kasi nga, natuto lang sila sa QuickBooks using probably online training na hindi ganun ka-in-depth. Right? So, they navigate QuickBooks the way it should be navigated. Kasi nga, menu-driven lang naman yung QuickBooks. Right? But may mga peculiarities na hindi nare-realize ng bookkeeper na may ginagawa siyang mali. Right? And so, pagdating niyan sa tax preparation, medyo masakit sa ulo. Right? Because nagiging inefficient yung tax preparation kasi nagba-back and forth yung tax preparer at saka yung bookkeeper. Right? Kasi kunyari, nag-balance sheet. Pagtingin sa balance sheet, may negative na liability. Right? Tapos yung AR hindi gumagalaw. Right? Pagdating mo sa P&L, may mga negative expenses. Right? And so, isang tingin pa lang ng accountant, alam nilang may mali sa books. Right? And so, again, back and forth, hindi tatanggapin ni tax preparer na yung books, sasabihin niya si client na pwede bang makiconnect sa bookkeeper mo kasi there is something wrong with the books, right? Or sometimes what we ask is we ask for the general ledger para makita natin yung transactions na nag-compose doon sa negative balance, for example. Kasi baka may maling categorization doon. Right? So, again, kapag okay yung books, ang sarap mag-tax prep. Right? Lalo na ang movement ng balance sheet, yung retained earnings, lagi yan sa retained earnings nagkakatalo-talo. Ang layo ng balance sheet sa last year's tax return. So prior year na tax return, hindi ni-reconcile, hindi na-enter yung depreciation, right? So again, there is so much value that a bookkeeper can do sa life ng isang tax preparer, right? And so isang goal natin is that in this class, hindi lang tayo matuto sa QBO, but also we somehow interject basic accounting knowledge. Okay? So, yun yung goal natin. Yun yung personal goal ko. And then hopefully sa mga magpre-present later, ay incorporate natin yan ha. Kung ano yung mga ma-explain natin, kung ano yung we explain more than what the QBO material is explaining. Alright? Para again, maiwasan natin yung mga mali sa books na minsan hindi na-realize ng bookkeeper. Si tax accountant pa ang nakakakita. Okay? Copy so far? Okay pa tayo? Di pa naman masyadong information overload.
Okay po.
Alright. So, this one, in this example, sa accounting, may tinatawag tayong dual entry. right? So kaya may accounting at may debit at credit. Kahapon na-cover natin to, may give and take, right? So lagi in a transaction there are two accounts that are involved. Okay? Kaya nga may accounting equation din, right? So there's two sides of the equation, right? Right side, which is the asset, left side, which is the liabilities and equity. Nakita niyo din kahapon, may timbangan, di ba? Yung timbangan, pag sinabi niyang, pag may na-add sa right side, dapat may ma-add din sa left side. Otherwise, your timbangan goes like this or goes like that. Right? So, dapat balance sila lagi. So, in any transaction, like this one, may dalawang accounts involved yan. Right? May dalawang accounts involved. Hindi pwedeng isa lang. Pag sabihin mo, oh, this transaction resulted to an income. Right? So, ang income is on the left side kasi part siya ng equity. Right? So, sasabihin mo ngayon, ano ang impact nun sa accounting equation? Right? Ano yung sa right side? Kasi yung income is nasa left side, di ba? Kasi equity. So, malamang may asset ka, di ba? So, anong asset in particular? An asset which is an accounts receivable. Right? Lagi niyo tandaan yan. Any transaction, be it accounts, pagbabayad natin ng utang, pag-loan natin sa bangko, pagbayad natin ng salary sa mga empleyado, pagbayad natin ng rent, right? Lahat ng transaction na yon, at least ha, kasi pwedeng 3, pwedeng 4, at least may dalawang accounts involved. Okay? Kaya sa example na to, yung mowing business ay nag-render ng service sa kanyang client, right? Pero hindi pa siya binayaran, right? Utang, kasi mag-i-invoice ka. So, you have an asset, which is the receivable ng business sa kanyang client. And then, magre-recognize siya ngayon ng, what's that? Zoom? Huh? Right? And so, magre-recognize din siya ng revenue. Later on, we will explain to you bakit revenue, right? Ang equation lang naman is, 'di ba, yung equation na pinakita natin was asset equals liability plus equity. Saan yun doon yung revenue? Saan din yun yung expenses, right? Yung revenue at saka expenses, part siya ng equity. Okay? Part siya ng equity. So, again, we will demonstrate that later. Para lang kayo hindi malito, sa accounting equation, 3 lang yung accounts, asset, liability, and equity. Right? But sa equity, implicit dyan yung income at saka expenses. Or income is also otherwise known as revenue. Okay? So in this case, asset on the right side increases. Revenue, which is part of equity, also increases on the left side. So yung timbangan mo ay balance, hindi pa ganon. Hindi pa ganon. Right? Copy so far? Naiintindihan sa mga walang accounting background at all? Di pa naman siya masyadong overwhelming. Right? Yun yung goal natin eh. Hindi overwhelming sa inyo kasi nga borderless accountants tayo. We welcome everybody. Right? Si Alma, gustong you have anything to say, Alma?
Yes, Chris. I wrote something in the comment that I think we should identify what are under the assets like cash and equivalents, so they can understand well what are under asset, what are under liabilities, yung mga accounts po.
Right,
Para
good.
lang po they can understand the equation better.
Right, good idea there, Alma. So I'm not sure if it's part of the material, but kung wala, i-cover natin before tayo mag-end. Right, but good suggestion.
Okay po.
All right. Thank you there, Alma. So yeah, we will, kasi I think I'm not sure because I have not taken the course yet, but I feel like merong section dito na may chart of accounts. Right? Kasi chart of accounts is very, very important in setting up the books. Right? So doon natin makikita kung ano yung nagko-compose ng asset, ng liabilities, ng equity, yung income at saka ng expenses sa chart of accounts. Okay? But I really feel strongly that part siya ng material. Okay? But in this case, tama ba yung sagot natin na assets and revenue yung maapektuhan na balance? Let's check. Submit natin. Yeah, that's right. The assets will increase because of the accounts receivable. And the revenue will increase as a result of the service income. All right, dito na yung debits and credits. Sumanda na kayo ha. Again, kung hindi maintindihan the first time, that's okay. That is why we have a recorded session. Right? Minsan, mga bagay-bagay mahirap sa umpisa, diba? But the more that you repeat, the more that you research about it, it will make sense. Okay? Wag lang kayong mag-give up. Just because na-encounter niyo na yung debit and credit, natakot na kayo, right? So don't do that. If it doesn't make sense at first, you can always do replay. All right. And practice lang ng practice, sabi ni Jesu. Right. So, sinong magbabasa the entire section? Any volunteer? Right. So don't do that. If it doesn't make sense at first, you can always do replay. All right. And practice lang ng practice, sabi ni Jesu. Right.
All
so,
right.
Sinong magbabasa the entire section? All right. Mario, go ahead. All right. Di namin kayo marinig, Mario. I think there's a problem with your audio. All right. Mario, go ahead.
Okay. So, naririnig po ako. Hello?
Now we can.
Yes. Naririnig po ako. Ano po? So,
Yes.
yes po. Debits and credits are the
Di namin kayo marinig, Mario.
Ay, sorry po. Sorry.
I think there's a problem with your audio.
Okay na po. Okay na po. Okay na po.
Yes po,
Okay na po.
naririnig po.
Okay na po ba?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes po.
Okay po. So debits and credits. Debits and credits are the choreography of your client's financial performance. Understanding
Yes po, naririnig po.
understanding their movements. Okay.
Yes po.
Okay. So debits and credits are the choreography of your client's financial performance. Understanding their movements helps you keep track of your client's assets, expenses, liabilities, owner's equity, and revenue. So debits represent an increase in assets or expenses, or a decrease in liabilities, owner's equity, or revenue. Credits represent a decrease in assets or expenses, or an increase in liabilities, owner's equity, or revenue.
All right. Thank you, Mariel. Medyo may ano lang
Okay
tayo
na po.
Medyo may ano lang tayo, Mariel. Kasi every time you unmute yourself, medyo nag-echo or may delay. Sino ba yung nagsabi? Baka nakasabay
Okay na
yata
po
sa
ba?
application nyo yung
Delay.
All right. Thank you, Mariel. Medyo may ano lang tayo, Mariel. Right, baka naka-FB Live din si Mariel. Anyways, thank you, Mariel, for reading that. So debit dollars and credits are the choreography of your client's financial performance. Understanding their movements helps you keep track of your client's assets, expenses, liabilities, owner's equity, and revenue. So the debits, it represents an increase in assets or expenses. And every time you want to decrease the asset, you credit them, right? And credit naman would be an increase in liabilities, owner's equity, or revenue. So medyo critical to na part, guys, ha? This is a very critical part because this now talks about the movement of your accounts, right? And to a normal human being na walang accounting background, this could be very, very difficult to understand, okay? This could be very, very difficult to understand. And Kathy, I see you raise your hand. I'll call you a little shortly. Kasi baka makatulong ka sa pag-simplify nito. If you want to understand this on a deeper level, pag hindi niyo naintindihan now, it's okay lang. You can support it with YouTube material. Kung ano ba yung how the accounts are moving, right? Because I'm not sure if I can even explain it the way it should be explained and the way it should be understood, right? But meron kasing tinatawag tayo na normal balance, right? Normal balance ng mga accounts, right? So pag sinabi nating asset, yung normal balance ng asset is debit, right? So every time you debit an asset account, you're increasing that account, right? Every time naman you credit the account, you're decreasing the account. Again, because the normal balance of an asset account is debit, right? Debit, which is on the right side ng equation, right? Ng asset. Yun lang yung tandaan nyo. Because nasa right side siya ng equation, normal balance niya is debit. Yung mga accounts naman na nasa left side ng equation, which is the equity and the liability, yung kanilang normal balance naman is credit. The other way around. So kapag credit, every time you credit the account, you're increasing the account. Every time you debit the account, you're decreasing the account. You know what I'm saying? So, normal balance ng asset, debit. Normal balance ng liability at equity is credit. And here's the kicker, right? Sabi natin, di ba, yung expenses, part ng equity. Right? Expense is part ng equity. But wait, yung expense, yung normal balance naman ng expense is debit. Right? Normal balance ng expense is debit, and pag nag-debit ka ng expense, you are actually increasing the expense. Pag nag-credit ka naman ng expense, you are reducing the expense. Right? So, having said that, yung mga accounts na debit yung normal balances ay asset at saka expenses. Okay? Asset at saka expenses. Yung equity at saka liabilities, normal balance nila is credit. So, pag sinabi natin, ano ba yung normal balance? May effect yon sa entry doon sa books. Kasi nga, pag nag-entry ka sa books, you will analyze ano bang i-debit at ano bang i-credit. Right? But then again, why do we not need to fully comprehend this? Why don't we need to spend so much time on this? Is because, again, QBO takes care of it for us, right? QBO takes care of the debit and the credit for us, right? The menus in QuickBooks will automatically do the debit and the credit for us. Hindi mo na kailangan intindihin, asset ba to? Nag-increase ba yung asset dito? May not, right? But it's a good thing to understand, right? So, intindihin nyo lang, again, normal balance. Check natin yung illustration dito. Debit, credit. So, debit on the left side, credit on the right side. Right? Confirm ko yung sinabi ko kanina, di ba? Asset and expenses, debit ang normal balance. Correct? So, tingnan nyo. Every time you debit the asset and the expenses, it's increasing, right? Every time you credit an asset, bakit to revenue? Okay. Dito na lang tayo para hindi kayo malito dito sa part na to. Right? So, kasi yung expenses, pwede kasing i-credit din yon. Ang revenue pwede ding i-debit. Right? But in this case, hindi niya kasi nilagyan ng panglimang arrow. Tinamad na yung gumawa nito. So, dito lang tayo sa first three kasi baka malito na kayo sa fourth. So, yung asset, tingnan nyo, debit is green on the side, right? Pa-arrow pataas. On the other side, sa credit, pababa naman siya. Right? Liabilities is the other way around and equity is the other way around. Before we end the class today, I will demonstrate this via Excel. Okay? I will try my best to demonstrate this via Excel. Para lang again ma-contextualize niyo ng maigi. And at this time, nag-raise si Kathy ng hand earlier. Kathy, did you have anything to say or add?
Actually, pag nag-explain kasi ako dyan sa debit and credit, debit is ano ba yung natanggap? Ano natanggap mo? So, cash, natanggap mo cash. Ano ang nilabas mo? Let's say, nangutang ka. So, ang nilabas mo, pautang, liability. O kung benta yan, ang nilabas mo, yung benta mo. So, ang na-receive mo cash or ang na-receive mo receivable kung utang sa'yo yung binenta mo. So, laging meron kang na-receive at meron kang ibinigay. Yung credit, yun yung ibinigay. Yung debit, yun yung na-receive mo. So, ganun lagi yung pag pinag-explain ko pag ako yung nagtuturo ng debit and credit. Yun po.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kathy. So, naintindihan niyo, debit daw is kung ano yung natanggap, credit kung ano naman yung nilet go, right? Or binigay. So, kung nagbenta ka, naka-receive ka ng cash, nilet go mo. Right? So, ganun lang siya. Marlene, did you have anything to add as well?
Yes, Chris. According sa illustration, di ba, yung asset is sa debit and credit, nag-increase and nag-decrease. So, let's say, ang example natin dito is, you buy a piece of land para sa business mo. So, nag-increase yung asset mo through cash. So, yung nag-increase yung asset mo, at the same time, nag-decrease din siya kasi nga, let's say na bumili ka nga ng land pero doon din sa money na galing din sa business mo. So, yung money na galing din sa business mo, nag-decrease because, yun nga, binili mo ng ano. So, both na nag-increase and decrease yung asset.
Yeah. Thank you, Marlene, for that additional insight. And i-relate natin to sa sa actual practice. 'Di ba last time in the kahapon ba or nung orientation, I showed with you the link nung QuickBooks Test Drive. So let's demonstrate bakit hindi nyo kailangan tong masyadong tandaan na. Hindi nyo kailangan mag-spend ng so much time on this because it's automated by QuickBooks. QuickBooks can help you on this. Right? So let me just unshare my screen and then I'll share again. So we'll put this into context. Again, this is the benefit of why you would want to take the class with us. Right, so I'll share my screen again. Kita niyo yung screen ko?
Yes.
You guys see my screen? Yes. Right, so this is the test drive. You have also access to it. You don't have to log in because this is in a testing environment of QuickBooks, okay? So now, let's pull up an example of a balance sheet. So this is an actual interface of QuickBooks Online. So pag nagkukuha kayo ng balance sheet sa QuickBooks, you just have to go to reports, take on a balance sheet, right? Hindi niyo na kailangan pang magsulat, everything is automated in QuickBooks. So change lang natin to classic view kasi I don't like the new view. So for example, we want to see the balance sheet of the business as of today, right? So you define your selection to year to date, right? So January 1, 2025 to August 27, 2025. And just hit run, right? And then you have an accounting method, which is cash or accrual. I think in the course, merong explanation kung ano yung cash and accrual. For now, we'll just use cash, right? And then run your report, right? So this is this is how a balance sheet looks like, right? You have assets and then breakdown ng assets. Ito yung sinasabi ni Alma, anong example ng assets. You have bank accounts, and the bank accounts are further classified into checking and savings. And then other current assets, my undeposited funds. And then you have fixed assets. Then you have your liabilities. And then you have your equity, right? Look at the assets, right? Total assets is 17K. Total liabilities and equity is 17K. Right? Tandaan nyo yan, ha? Let us take a screenshot of this. I hope walang gumagamit ng touch drive ngayon kasi baka mapahiya tayo. So, now, actually, let's change this to accrual. Kasi pag accrual, pag cash, walang AR. Right. Kanina walang AR, di ba? Kasi nag-cash basis tayo. I changed the selection to AR, accrual. Kaya ngayon, meron na tayong AR, right? So again, we will take a screenshot of this view. Also, again, you can explore this test drive at your own time because lahat may access. Hindi na kailangan mag-log in. Just follow the link that I shared last time. Right. So, na-screenshot natin, total assets natin ngayon, 23,436.29 at the moment, right? Tandaan nyo yung amount na yan. Now, for example, in the example earlier, yung nag-mow ng lawn, di ba, may AR siya, tapos may income. How does it work in actual life, in actual setting? You don't have to do journal entry anymore because you're using QuickBooks Online. What you do is you simply go here, new, and then click on invoice, right? So click on invoice. Right, wait lang, nag-refresh siya. So click on invoice. Magsisend ka ngayon kasi ikaw ang bookkeeper, di ba? You will send an invoice to the customer, right? So sabihin na natin invoice date is today, August 27. And then sabihin natin net 30. Babayaran ka within 30 days. So 9/26 yung due date. Right? And then what you do is you just have to fill this out. Say for example, anong service? Meron ba ditong landscaping? Wala. Let's say gardening. Right? Gardening. Tapos, yung rate mo dito sa gardening service mo is, let's say, gawin natin 1,500. Right? So, this is what you do. You are just creating an invoice, right? And then, define natin kung kaninong invoice ito. Sinong customer. Right? So, syempre, lagyan natin ng customer name, right? So, si Amy. Kunyari, si Amy's Bird Sanctuary yung customer. Right? Naka-define na rin siya. So, let's just hide that. So, right? You now have a landscape bill of 1,500 that will be sent to your customer, Amy's Bird Sanctuary. What you do is just, ano ba yun? Hindi ko makita yun. So, you review and then you send, right? So, tingnan mo, may invoice ka na invoice number 1,038, right? So, that's the invoice. Now, because you're sure, you will hit send. Send mo yung invoice. Automatically, makaka-receive si customer nung notification na may nag-send ka ng invoice sa kanya. Right. So, may invoice. Sinabi natin kanina, nag-increase yung asset, nag-increase din yung revenue. Let's prove that. Right? Let's prove that. Let's go back to our balance sheet. Kung tama ba? Nag-increase nga ba? So, balikan natin balance sheet. This year to date, ulit. Tingnan niyo yung accounts receivable, 6,901.52. Magkano to kanina? 5,281. Magkano na-increase? Magkano difference ng 5,281.52 at 6,901?
1.5.
1.5, correct? So, yan yung in-invoice natin kanina. Nag-increase na yung AR niya. Tingnan niyo yung total assets. Kanina, di ba, nag-screenshot tayo. Do you get to see my screenshot? Yeah. So, yung screenshot natin kanina, asset was only 23,436.29. Look at our total assets now. Why is it not coming down? All right, hold on. So total assets is how much now? 25,056.29. Magkano difference? 25,056.29 minus 23,436.29. May 120 na difference. Ano yung 120
I
galing?
think, di ba sa taxes yun?
Baka sa
may
tax
sales
po.
tax? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we have just proven it, right? Nag-increase yung asset when we did the invoice, right? And then, syempre, nag-increase din yung liabilities and equity, right? Saan galing? Dito sa net income, right? Let's prove that further. Let's dig deeper. 'Di ba hindi niyo na kinailangan mag-journal entry. Again, because sabi ko kanina, si QuickBooks na yung bahala, right? So let's prove that. Let's break down our accounts receivable. Let's break it down. So ito lahat yung AR from the time that this account was started this year. So tingnan natin yung invoice natin na sinend kay Amy's, right? Yung 1,038,827. 1,620 kasi pala may sales tax na 120. Okay, makes sense. Right. So wala tayong journal entry. But nag-journal entry si QuickBooks dito para sa atin. How? Look at more actions. Go to transaction journal. You will see that QuickBooks did the journal entry for us. Right. Look at this journal entry. Nag-debit siya ng AR, 1,620. Nag-credit siya ngayon ng landscaping services, which is an income account, 1,500. And then there's, I don't know what is this, Board of Equalization Payable, 120. This is for the tax, right? So did you have to do the journal entry yourself? No, right? All you had to do was do the invoice. And then did you have a hard time filling out the invoice? No, right? Because those were just drop-down menus, right? Drop down for the customer, drop down for the service, and then you put in the amount. Everything else was taken care of by QuickBooks Online. Amazing, is it not? What do you think?
Yes, it's amazing.
Yes.
Making sense, right? Kaya nga sabi ko, don't dwell so much understanding the normal balances, right? Because the journal entries will be taken care of by QuickBooks Online. But at least now you understand anong impact ng invoice, right? Every time you create an invoice, it's gonna create an income account, or it's gonna increase your income as well as your accounts receivable. Copy so far?
Yes po.
Kailangan nyo pang mag-debit at mag-credit, hindi na, di ba? So yun yung point ko. You don't have to do that, but we just needed to know that para may understanding kayo anong nangyayari sa QuickBooks Online every time you enter a transaction, right? Anong yung nag-i-increase doon, anong nagdi-decrease. Okay? We will have more examples as we go along. I hope you find that fascinating. And then again, yung test drive na link, work it out, do practice navigation sa QuickBooks Online, you will appreciate it more. Right. So now the cardinal rule for bookkeeping, debits and credits need to be equal. It's like a balancing act where the numbers on both sides of the stage should always match up. Right? So if you look at the entries, di ba nag-match sila? Debit, total 1,620. Credit, total 1,620. Yan yon. Copy? Where is it? Right. So again, the cardinal rule of bookkeeping, debits and credits need to be equal. It's like a balancing act where the numbers on both sides of the stage should always match up. Let's also prove this. In QBO, there is no way that a transaction would pass without the transaction being balanced. Let's show that one more time. Another example. So, for example, nag-create kayo ng journal entry. Later on, we will explain what a journal entry is, right? Pag kunyari may mga adjustments kang ginawa. So, nag-journal entry ka ngayon. So, that's how you do a journal entry sa QuickBooks, right? So, kunyari, ano bang pwedeng i-journal natin? Depreciation. So, depreciation. Ngayon, nilagay mo dito 10,000. Tapos, syempre, corresponding credit mo is accumulated depreciation. Yun ay kung meron. Wala. Accumulated. So, kung wala, di i-add natin, right? So, i-add natin yan sa chart of accounts. So, account type is fixed assets, right? Accumulated depreciation. Save lang natin yan. Ganun din sa QuickBooks. Kung walang account, pwede kang mag-create. Fixed asset account depletion cannot be parent accounts. Ano ba to? Accumulated depreciation. Fixed asset account cannot be parent accounts. Let's see other assets. I'll make this a sub-account. Other assets na lang. Just for the purposes of this presentation. Right. So, kunyari, di ba nag-default siya ng 10,000? Right? What if medyo careless tayo? Ginawa natin 1,000 lang. What will happen? So, tingnan nyo, debit 10,000. Credit 1,000 kasi nagmamandali tayo. Hindi natin tiningnan, right? Tingnan natin kung mag-i-allow ba siya ng system, right? Save natin. Right? Hindi, right? Meron siyang error. Sabi dito, something's not quite right. Please balance debits and credits. Hindi siya pinapayagan na ma-push nung QuickBooks. Bakit? Hindi balance yung debit and yung credit mo. Right? So, hindi siya balance, kaya kailangan mo siyang i-correct. Unless you correct it, you cannot push the transaction over. So, kailangan mo siyang i-correct, gawan mo siya ng 10,000. Tingnan mo ngayon. 10,000 na, balance na yung debit tsaka yung credit. Save mo siya ngayon. Now, it's allowing you to save it. So, you now have journal entry saved number 1, right? Which is that transaction. You were able to save it because balance yung debit and yung credit mo. That's the beauty of QBO. Hindi ka pwede magkamali sa balancing ng mga accounts because there is an automated feature that detects that you're about to make a mistake. Okay? So lagi yung balance sheet mo dito sa QuickBooks is balance, right? Laging balance yan. Ang tanong na lang kung accurate ba, right? Kaya nga sabi ko kahapon, when you're presenting a financial statements, akala mo lang tama yan because na-complete mo yung bank recon, na-complete mong i-categorize. But just because it's complete, it doesn't mean it's correct. It doesn't mean it's accurate, right? Sometime along the way, once we can, as we go along with this course, you will understand saan pwedeng magkamali si bookkeeper sa pag-entries ng mga transactions sa QuickBooks, right? Again, kasi common misconception ng mga bookkeeper na nag-QBO na just because na-reconcile nila yung account, just because nag-balance yung balance sheet, tama na yung ginagawa nila. Mali. There are ways that a QuickBooks bookkeeper can commit mistakes on the books, causing the financial statements to be erroneous. Okay? And again, those are going to be part of what we're going to be studying in this course. Okay? And hindi niyo to makukuha ang mga lesson na to kung magsarili kayong mag-aral ng QuickBooks Pro certification because it's not going to be explained the way we're explaining it Copy? Right. So that's the contextualization or wait sa Kelly, ano sagod? Pa-lobat ko. Copy so far? Okay pa naman. Kala niyo madali, no? Hindi lang naman talaga. Di ba? Marami namang features si QuickBooks na mapapadali ang buhay natin. Right. So, cardinal rule of bookkeeping. Again, debits and credits need to be equal. All right. Now, finally, knowledge check. All right. Let's take it easy this time. Who wants to read? Ngayon naman, 1 million cash in bank daw yung bibigay ni Kelly. Ayun, ang bilis ni Mylene, no? Sige, Mylene. Go ahead.
Okay pa. When recording the purchase of office supplies, purchase on account, which side of the ledger should the accounts payable be recorded on? Credit po.
Okay, credit. Bakit kaya credit? Ano ba yung tanong? When recording the purchase of office supplies, purchase an account, which side of the ledger the accounts payable be recorded on? Okay, so ano ba yung accounts payable? Is it an asset, liability, or equity?
Accounts payable is liabilities.
Okay. And because
Normal balance
niya is credit,
of the
so anong
yes po.
So ano mangyayari pag credit mo yung accounts payable na liability? Ano mangyayari doon sa accounts payable?
It will increase the accounts payable.
Perfect. All right. Now, kasi nga dapat dual recording tayo, 'di ba? Dual accounts. So now that you know what the credit is, ano naman yung debit niya?
Office supplies po. Debit.
Office supplies. So ano yung office supplies? Ano yung type of account? Is it an asset? Is it a liability? Is it an equity? Is it an income? Is it an expense?
Asset.
Asset. Okay.
Yes
So
po.
asset, nag-increase yung asset mo kasi i-debit mo siya, 'di ba?
Yes po.
Okay, perfect. Agree ba lahat?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Let's confirm. Submit. Correct. So you should credit the accounts payable when recording the purchase of office supplies on account. Sige, wait. What if, namali tayo, ang dinebit natin ay accounts payable, credit natin yung office supplies? What will happen? Kasi hindi tayo nag-aral sa borderless accountant ng nagkamali tayo sa pag-entry. Na-debit natin accounts payable, tapos na-credit natin office supplies. What will happen? Balance pa rin ba yung balance sheet mo?
Yes po.
Yes.
Balance pa din.
Balance pa rin.
Pero tama ba ang magiging financial statements mo niyan?
Wrong.
Wrong. Okay, good answer. Bakit? Bakit wrong yung financial statements?
Kulang yung
Overstated po yung asset.
Overstated ba yung asset?
Ay, yung
Mababawasan yung
liability.
asset. And then mababawasan yung accounts payable.
Okay, correct. So, nabawasan yung accounts payable, nabawasan din yung asset. So, pareho lang sila, 'di ba? Pareho lang sila na nabawasan, right? Pero kung titingnan mo yung financial statements, hindi na siya correct, 'di ba? Kasi kulang yung utang mo, 'di ba? Kulang yung utang mo. Sabi mo, may utang ka kanino kay National Bookstore, 'di ba? Nabawasan yung utang mo kay National Bookstore instead na madagdagan, 'di ba? So mali na yung financial balance sheet. Tapos yung office supplies mo na asset nabawasan din instead na madagdagan. Right? So akala mo lang tama ka pero mali ka pala. Charet. 'Di ba? So just because nag-go through yung transactions, just because nag-balance yung transaction, akala mo tama ka na. Isa yung pwedeng maging error ng bookkeeper. Right? Kasi kung nilagay mo to sa QuickBooks, nag-journal entry ka, nag-debit ka ng accounts payable, nag-credit ka ng office supplies, both 1,000 for example, 'di ba? I-accept ni QuickBooks yan kasi balance siya, 'di ba? Hindi alam ni QuickBooks na mali yung gamit mong account, mali yung dinebit mo at mali yung credit mo na account. Isa yang hindi na-check ni QuickBooks. Right? Isa yang hindi na-check ni QuickBooks. So, careful. Pero pagka ganito din guys, hindi mo to i-journal entry sa QuickBooks. Diba? Hindi mo to i-journal entry sa QuickBooks kasi bill ito. Diba? Bill, meaning babayaran. Meron namang features sa QuickBooks. Kung kanina may invoice, meron namang purchase, meron namang features sa QuickBooks na
Bill.
opposite ng invoice. Ano naman yon? Bill. Diba? So kung itong column na to ay a lot to do with all that have to do with customers, meron namang accounts na or transactions na involving the vendors, right? So ano yon? It could be a bill, right? Pag sinabing bill, you are booking that as an accounts payable. You know what I'm trying to say? Let's prove that. Let's use that example. So mag-create tayo ng bill ngayon. So vendor natin, random lang tayo. Let's say for example, si Cal Telephone. Kasi na-receive natin yung telephone bill. Sabi ni client, oh Chris, I will forward to your email the bill I received from Cal Telephone. You enter this in QuickBooks. Right? So this is what you do. You enter it in QuickBooks, bill date, tingnan nyo din kung kailan ang due date ng bill. Let's say 5 days after, let's say 31. Right? So may category na siya dito, utilities, telephone. Pwede mong baguhin. Yeah, pwede mong baguhin. Pero obvious naman na telephone yan, so hayaan mo ng telephone, right? Tapos, ewan ko, naglagay na siya ng amount dito. Say, okay na yan. Take natin ng 56.50, right? So, yan. Ganyan lang. Diba? Hindi ka magre-record ng accounts payable, hindi ka rin magre-record ng telephone expense. You just record it simply as a bill, right? Then you save and you schedule a payment. So, na-save na yung bill. I-open natin yung bill. Sana na makikita yung bill. Right? Ito ba yung bill? Yeah. That's the bill, right? Now, if you want to see the underlying transaction, go to More, click on Transaction Journal. Now, you will see the underlying journal entry of the bill, right? So, yung kanina, invoice, di ba? Automatic credit to an income account. Ito naman, bill. What is the automatic niyang credit na account? Tingnan nyo. Di ba? Credit, 56.50, accounts payable. Right? Debit niya naman, utilities, telephone expense, 56.50. You did not have to enter this. You didn't have to do this. Right? You didn't have to do the journal entry. Automatic siyang ginagawa ng QuickBooks after mong sinave yung bill. Copy so far? And that's how it works in real life. Right? So usually clients would only forward you email or send you the bill. Ikaw na yung magbo-book niyan sa QuickBooks. Right? Hindi ka pwedeng magkamali sa bill, right? It's very simple for you to make a mistake, right? Kung angach-angach ka, ang 56 ginawa mong 65, that's a mistake. Pwede yang i-accept ni QuickBooks kasi hindi niya naman alam na 56 dapat yung bill, nilagay mo 65. Hindi yan ma-check ni QuickBooks. Ikaw yung nag-enter kasi, right? So, may mga areas na hindi pwedeng ma-check ni QuickBooks kung mali or hindi. O si bookkeeper na yon. Kasi yung system, the way a system operates is garbage in, garbage out. Kung nagpasok ka ng mali, bibigyan ka din niya ng mali. Right? So, doon tayo dapat careful. Right? Yung sa accuracy natin. So, having said that, let's go back to the core material. So, right. So, tama, di ba? Kanina, example lang natin is telephone, hindi office supplies. Right? So, nag-credit yung accounts payable. Again, we did not have to do the journal entry. QuickBooks did the journal entry for us. Na-appreciate niyo na ba si QuickBooks Online so far? Yung mga hindi pa nag-QuickBooks?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Amazing. So, again, another example. Who wants to volunteer? Another 1 million cash in bank. Oh, Dexter, go ahead.
Hello, good evening. When recording the payment of salaries to employees, which side of the salary expense ledger should the transaction be recorded?
Okay, Dexter, what is your answer?
Answer is debit, since it's expense as an normal debit balance.
All right, perfect. Good job, Dexter. So, ang expense daw, sabi ni Dexter, is normal balance niya, debit, right? And because you're recording a salaries expense, which is an expense, dapat i-debit mo siya. All right. So, when recording payment of salaries to employees, payment daw. So, malamang binayaran yung salaries, right? So, kung debit is salaries, ano naman yung credit?
Cash.
Kasi sabi ni Kati kanina, kung may na-receive ka, may i-let go ka din, right? So, kung may na-receive kang expense, ano yung na-let go mo dito?
Cash.
Cash. Cash would be your credit, right? Now, ano yung cash? What type of account is cash? Is it asset, liability, equity, expense, income?
Asset.
Asset, yung cash, di ba? Now you're crediting your asset. What would happen to your cash?
It goes down.
Decrease.
It goes down. There you will appreciate your normal balances, right? Now,
Yes.
because asset, an example of asset, which is cash, normal balance niya is debit. Pag dinebit mo, mag-i-increase. Now, you're crediting it because you're paying a salaries expense. So, mangyayari, mababawasan yung cash. Making sense?
Yes.
All right, great. So, now you have a better appreciation of what the normal balances are. Right? Anong gamit niya? Submit natin. Correct ulit. Oh, perfect na tayo. Wala pa tayong mistake. Right. So you should debit the salaries expense and credit cash, which is an asset, when recording the payment of salaries to employees. All right. How do you feel so far?
Recording the payment of salary.
Mag 1 hour and a half na tayo. Are you feeling good? Things are making sense? All righty. So now let's move on to accounting principles. 4 out of 7. Lapit na. Accounting principles. What is the role of accounting principles? All right. So nang gusto magbasa, Janelle, go ahead.
Accounting principles play an important role in maintaining financial integrity and ensuring accurate reporting in business. Accounting principles also provide a standardized framework that guides financial information recording, analysis, and communication. By adhering to these principles, businesses can make informed decisions.
Continue, Jen.
Make informed decisions, build trust with stakeholders, maintain transparency in their financial operations.
Right.
So,
All right, I think that's okay, Jen. So, accounting principles, sabi dito, plays an important role in maintaining financial integrity and ensuring accurate reporting in business. Right, kasi 'di ba, yesterday we already understood ano yung output ng bookkeeper, right? The output of the bookkeeper is the financial statements, correct? So after all the transactions were recorded, after you manage the accounts receivable, accounts payable, you are now able to produce the financial statements. Ito yung final output natin as bookkeeper, right? Itong financial statements na to, maraming may gumagamit nito, right? Maraming gumagamit ng financial statement. It's not just the owner, right? The owner, when he looks at the financial statements, yung concern niya is kung kumita ba siya ng pera, right? Or kumita ba siya ng income? Or kung nagka-loss man siya, magkano, right? And it could be also used for decision making, right? One thing that could be used when looking at financial statements is kung maglo-loan ba siya ng pera, right? Sa bangko. Or kung mag-hire ba siya ng employee or magpa-fire ba siya ng employee or mag-i-increase ba siya ng advertising spend niya, right? All those decisions depend on the financial statements. Copy so far? So malaking impact kapag ang financial statements natin mali, right? Kasi yung decision making ni owner baka mali din. Correct? And also it builds trust with stakeholders, right? One user of the financial statement ay mga bangko, right? Kung mag-apply ng loan yung taxpayer or yung business owner, the main requirement of the bank would be the financial statements, right? So kung yung financial statements na binigay mo doon sa bank ay klarong-klarong mali or klaro-klarong dinoktor, that means you're not building trust, right? Again, classic example na nangyari sa Philippines recently, ha? Magbasa kayo ng news kung hindi niyo to alam. 'Di ba yung Villar Land? Magkano lang nila binili yung lupa? Nasa 160 billion yata. Not sure what the amount was. Tapos ni-revalue nila. Nag-revaluate sila ng mahigit 1 trillion yung lupa. Right? So yung income statement nila, kasi may revaluation na nangyari, di ba? So nag-declare ngayon sila ng revaluation surplus or yung income from the revaluation. So yung income statement nila biglang nag 10,000% increase, right? So ngayon, kasi publicly listed company sila. So they were audited by Punong Bayan and Aralio. Yung auditor ngayon, hindi magsa-sign off sa financial statements kasi they don't rely on the assertion ng financial statements. We do not believe that the value of the land is this much. So nag-hire ngayon sila ng another appraiser. So based sa appraiser na hinire ng Punong Bayan, ganito lang yung value ng property. Iayaw din pumayag ng mga Villar, di ba? Kasi gusto nga nilang mag-declare na 1 trillion yung income nila, di ba? Mga walang hiya. Charet. 'Di ba? So that caused a delay in the compliance of Villar Land before the SEC. Kasi 'di ba may deadline yung filing sa SEC. Hindi ngayon sila nakapag-file on time. Tapos nag-file pa sila, hindi din tinanggap ng SEC. Right? So ginawa ng SEC, hinolt yung trading ng publicly listed na Villar Land. Tapos pumutok yung news kasi finalo sila ng Rappler. Right? Ang nakakahiya pa dyan, guys, is Villar is a CPA. 'Di ba? Alam niya dapat yung ginagawa niya. 'Di ba? Tapos dalawang anak sila. Actually, sila lahat lawmakers. It's not a simple mistake. Right? There is a grave there's an intention to deceive. Right? Tinalo pa nila yung malalaking companies like SM, Ayala dahil sila na ngayon yung pinakamalaking income at saka valuation sa balat ng buong Pilipinas kung nangyaring inallow sila ng 1 trillion valuation. So having said that, we relate that to our discussion today. The financial statements build trust with stakeholders, right? So sino yung mga stakeholders? The bank, kung publicly listed, SEC, right? And the general public, right? So if you're part of the public, o tayo yon, we follow the Villar, gugustuhin pa man nating mag-invest sa mga stocks nila? Malamang hindi na, di ba? Kasi nga ako, nag-invest ako sa VLL, yung isang stock nila na publicly listed. I invested, kasi di ba si Villar, kwentuhan lang natin para put into context, guys. Recorded pa naman tayo, baka isu tayo ni Manny Villar. Bahala na siya. But, there was a time, di ba, Senate President si Villar dati, and so natalo siya when he ran for president. And so he decided to manage his business. So siya na ngayon yung parang head ng business nila. So, and I was following VLL. VLL is yung Vista Land, Landscape or something. So ngayon ako, since I was following the news, nag-invest ngayon ako sa VLL. Alam niyo, after 6 years or I think binenta ko na yung Palugi, hindi man lang nag-move, right? Walang kwentang stock talaga. Nalugi pa ako. So, that's one of example of trust that the financials established with stakeholders. Stakeholders tayo ng mga publicly listed companies, right? Kasi pwede tayong mag-invest sa kanila, right? So ngayon, kahit pa at a bargain yung stock ng Villar, hindi na ako bibili ever, right? Kasi, 'di ba? I don't know, bakit pa sila binoboto ng bayan, right? They're just not doing the right thing. Anyways, baka mayroon ditong empleyado ng Camellia Land or Vista or mga isu ako. Bahala kayo. Anyways, tahimik kasi baka mga shareholders pala kayo ng VLL. Or ano pa, Avestalan pala. Naku, nakakaloka. I-snippet nyo to tapos i-share nyo sa ano. Ay, basta bahala kayo. At least, reliable naman yung source. Diba? Nasa news nga yun eh. Tapos, nirelate lang naman natin sa build trust with stakeholders. Kasi again, we can be stakeholders or we are stakeholders of publicly listed companies kasi pwede tayong investors nila or pwede tayong recipient ng mga services nila. Right? And then transparency in their financial operations. Nakikita natin yan sa financial statements. Kaya, you should realize as a bookkeeper, accountants, we have a very crucial role to play. Right? Hindi natin sasabihin bookkeepers lang tayo. No. We know the heart and the operation of the business. Mas nauuna tayong nakakaalam sa financial position at saka financial performance ng business kaysa sa owner. Right? Kasi kahit tayo yung gumagawa, di ba? So that's the value we have. Right? That's the value we have. And if we do our job right, we are providing a really good value dun sa clients natin. Right? Do you guys agree? We have a very important role to play in the life of a businessman. Diba?
Yes po.
So hindi tayo dapat basta-basta lang na magbo-bookkeeping. Dapat we do the bookkeeping things right. Now, let's explore the first 4 accounting principles to see how they will guide the integrity of your bookkeeping services. Select the plus icons to open and learn more. Sige, paisa-isa tayong magbasa. Economic entity assumption. Sinong pwedeng magbasa? Right, Janice, go ahead.
Economic entity assumption. This assumption means that the business is its own separate entity, distinct from its owners. It reminds us that we must keep the business's financial activities completely separate from any personal finances. Business and personal expenses are like oil and water. They should never mix.
Thank you, Janice. Yes, so as a business, dapat may separate entity siya. Right? Kaya nga tayo nag-apply, yung mga business people sa US, nag-apply sila ng LLC. Right? So the LLC is a separate entity. Right? Lalo na pag nag-elect sila ng S-Corp, ng partnership, even more, that becomes a completely separate entity from the owner. Right? We'll tackle this more sa business na tax prep na course. But in general, if you have a business, that should be separate from the personal affairs of the owner. Kaya kailangan kapag nagbo-bookkeeping kayo, dapat si owner may separate na bank account for the business. Right? So pag nagre-reconcile kayo ngayon at nakita niyo yung bank account ay may mga personal transactions, masakit sa ulo yan. Right? So if you have a good relationship with the client, nakikinig naman si client sa inyo, i-advise niyo na si client na, hey client, may LLC ka naman, di ba? May EIN ka naman. Right? Yung EIN mo, gamitin mo, mag-apply ka ng bank account online. Kasi online lang naman yung mga, sa US, hindi mo na kailangan magpunta ng bank para to open a bank account. You can do it online. Right? And they will just, the bank will just mail the ATM card or kung credit card yung in-apply, i-mail lang yan sa doors nila. Ang bilis lang. No? So, sabihin mo, or pwede mong sabihin si client, ako na mag-apply client para sa'yo. Right? Kasi you have the information naman ng client kasi nga bookkeeper ka, 'di ba? So nasa yung social security niya, yung address niya, you can apply that for the client para email na lang dun sa client at mapapabilis yung buhay niyo diyan, right? Tapos this is where your integrity will come into play, your objectivity will come into play because kunyari, may business account na si client. Pero nakikita niyo may personal expenses pa rin kahit business account na 'yan, 'di ba? So sabihin mo si client na, client, let's have the discipline. Kung business, business. Kung personal, personal. Okay? So wag mong ihalo yung mga personal transactions mo sa business transactions mo. Right? Kasi baka magka-problema tayo later sa IRS, i-audit tayo, baka maka-penalty ka pa. Right? So para may peace of mind tayo, kung bank account yan, dapat purely business transactions lang. Okay? So, yon. Dapat there is a separation between the personal and the business affairs of the client. And mind you guys, kung sa mga hindi pa nagpa-practice ng bookkeeping, madalas ito yung problem ng bookkeeper, right? Kasi walang disiplina yung business owner, walang separate na business account, right? So again, if you encounter that type of client, have that objectivity, right? Communicate it well to the client. Anong benefits nung separate yung bank account niya sa personal at saka sa business. Okay? Again, the business and personal expenses are like oil and water. They should never mix. Clear? Clear naman? Gets naman so far?
Yes.
Next, accounting principle, reliability assumption. Right, Gina Lynn, go ahead.
Reliability assumption. This principle ensures that the information you record in your client's financial documents is verifiable and backed by proper documentation. If your client can't provide an invoice, receipt, or bank statement to support a transaction, it is not a reliable transaction and can't be recorded.
Right, thank you, Gina Lynn. Yeah, Neri, I saw your hand earlier. Lagi kang nauunahan, so I'll call you after, okay? So reliability assumption. So, wag lang tayong record ng transaction just because the client says we record it, okay? Dapat may supporting document. Right? Kunyari, vehicle. Sabi niya, magpasok ka nga sa vehicle sa balance sheet ko ng ganitong vehicle. Magtanong ka, saan yung purchase documents ng vehicle? Right? Kasi nga dapat supported document, may supporting document yung bawat transactions. Right? Ano pa? Asset, nag-purchase ng, for example, rental property, bahay. Right? Yung mga yon, pag mga real and personal property, may mga closing documents yan sila. So you should use the closing document as a supporting document. Okay na yun kung mga transactions galing sa bank, right? Kasi may bank feeds naman. Pero hindi lahat ng mga transactions nasa bank feeds, right? Ang mga purchases, for example, yung mga paunti-unti, mga cash transactions, right? So you should always have a supporting document. Yung minsan, kung wala talagang ma-provide, back yourself up with an email, right? So sabihin mo sa email sa client na, client, can you send this to me through email? Or what you do is kung ang instruction niya is ganyan, screenshot niyo yung instruction niya and then attach it sa transaction, right? So I'll show you how to do that. Kunyaring walang bank feed. Open natin ulit yung test drive. Tapos, kunyari, nilagay niyo journal entry kasi wala sa bank, right? So, pwede kayong mag-add ng attachment dito, right? So, you can add the supporting document as an attachment, right? It could be a photo, it could be a PDF document, or whatever it is. Put that as an attachment para pag nagkatanungan later on, kunyari na audit, may babalikan kayo, right? Hindi na kailangan mangalkal pa sa mga messaging app or sa email because it's already in the transaction itself as an attachment. Clear so far? Good so far? Making sense so far?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Chris. Question
Great.
po,
Yes,
Chris,
go ahead.
di ba po sabi nyo pwede naman yung through email tas i-attach. Pero kung wala pa rin talaga siyang resibo or anything, hindi pa rin dapat i-record. Tama po ba? Or enough na yung email?
Nasa judgment mo na yan. Tawag dyan, professional judgment. Right?
Yes.
Kapag masyadong malaki yung amount and you feel like you're committing a fraud kasi the client is trying to paint a picture of the financials that to deceive or yung alam niya yung mga intention to deceive, then as a professional you should refrain from doing it and you should advise the client, right? Courteously do it in a way na hindi rin manganib yung work mo. But again, in the US, malaki naman yung respect nila sa mga bookkeepers, right? So if you feel that, hey client, this appears to be personal account or this appears to be a personal expense, right? And based on the IRS regulation, this cannot be recorded as an expense in your books. So I would refrain from doing so, and let me know if you disagree, right? Pag sinabi ni client, no, I disagree with that. I strongly believe that this is a personal expense, and you should do it as I said, right? Then you can document that. You can document that kasi nga manganganib din naman yung ano mo, yung work mo. If the client is insisting that it is a business transaction, then take his word for it. If it's a business transaction. But kung klarong-klaro na sa'yo na hindi naman bank transaction yan, at again, it appears to be a fraudulent transaction, you may want to consider removing yourself from the position as a bookkeeper, right? Because you don't want to be complicit dun sa maaring crime na i-commit ng client nyo, right? So, again, that's where the professional judgment can come into play. Pag again, may fraud na involved and you want to distance yourself from that, tell the client that I'm afraid that I may have to terminate my engagement with you because based on what you're asking me to do, I have a strong feeling that this is against the law, or we're about to commit a fraud and I don't want to be part of it, right? Pero pag immaterial naman yung amount, no? Immaterial meaning it's too small, and confidence a client that he can defend it if there's an audit from the IRS, then take his word for it, just document it. Okay? Kung hindi naman matter of, hindi naman, it's not a matter of fraud. Okay? Ano lang, parang may disagreement lang in terms of principle. Right? Kanyari, yun, mga meals. Sabi ni client, meals yan, with the client yan. Pero alam niyo naman na malamang hindi client kasi kung McDonald's yan, 'di ba? Hindi mo naman dadalhin yung client siguro sa McDonald's, 'di ba? Sa US basic super sobrang basic ng McDonald's, right? So but sinabi ni client, kasama ko yung customer ko diyan. Kumain kami ng burger. Take his word for it, right? Huwag mong suwayin kasi maliit lang naman yun eh. Right? Baka nga wala ka nang balikan work kinabukasan, 'di ba? So again, matter of professional judgment. Okay naman tayo. Sino bang nag-ask nun? Was it Juvie?
Ako po. Thank you po. Noted. Yes.
Right. Pleasure po. All right, so that's reliability assumption. Next, full disclosure principle. Neri, go ahead.
Full disclosure principle. This principle states that any information lenders or investors might need to make informed decision should be disclosed in the financial statement or accompanying notes. For example, if a worker files a workers' compensation claim, it's essential to include that information in the notes of the financial statements.
Right. Thank you for that. So yeah, in the accounting parlance, meron na tayong 5 financial statements, di ba? So there's P&L, balance sheet, cash flow. Hindi ko limutan ko yung isa. Tapos yung isa, notes to financial statements. 5 ba o 4? Ala, Diyos ko, nakakahiya. Ano yung pang-4?
Changes in equity.
Changes in equity. Statement of changes in equity. So pang-5 na yung notes of financial statements. Lalo na pag malalaking companies na may requirement ng state to file financial statements na audited, dapat may notes of financial statements yan. Pero sa QuickBooks, I have not seen a notes of financial statements sa QBO. Pag sophisticated na accounting software, siguro, mag-produce ng notes of financial statements. But in QBO, what you can do, kung may mga notes, pwede nitong gamitin. Yung memo. Right? Kita niyo to? Memo. Pwede kayong maglagay dito. Pwede na siyang notes. Copy?
Noted.
Alright. Alright, next, last na tayo na accounting principle, conservatism assumption. Sinong gusto magbasa? Tapos last na lang ito natin ha, kasi, di pa, we're 45 pa pala. Wala nang gusto magbasa? Nantok na kayo? Okay, Mylene, go ahead.
Okay po. Conservatism assumption. When you are not sure if or how to record an item, this principle guides us to err on the side of caution. It means we choose options that show less income or asset benefit. Potential losses can be recorded while potential gains cannot. For instance, if your client is facing a potential lawsuit, you can consider it a loss and note. But if your client is expecting increased foot traffic to their business due to a new business opening nearby, you cannot record a potential gain until it actually happens. Better to be cautious than overly optimistic.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Mylene. So, in cases like this, sabi dito, your guide is to err on the side of caution, right? So, pagdating sa mga assumptions, kapag ang impact niyan ay gain or profit, let's be prudent. Wag mo munang ang tawag dito, may kasabihan sa Tagalog. Wag munang magbilang ng sisiw. Yeah, ano Kelly? Don't count your chicks before the eggs hatches or
chicks before the eggs are hatched.
Yeah, thank you, Alka. So parang ganun siya, right? So, wag mo nang mag-record ng income kung hindi pa naman sigurado. Pero pagdating sa loss, potential loss, then you will have to recognize that, right? Conservatism. So, kapag may mga ganyang situation, be cautious than overly optimistic. Okay? So, tawag din dyan prudence, right? Pag masyadong kampante. Kasi sabi nga, buti na yung applicable ba dito yun? Buti na yung sobra kaysa sa kulang o buti na yung kulang kaysa sa sobra. Right? I think buti na lang yung mas mabuti dito this time yung kulang kaysa sa sobra. Right? Kasi I'll give you an example. Dati when I was working for a big company in Saudi kasi publicly listed kami. So every quarter merong financial earnings call. Kasi kung publicly listed yung company mo, marami yung nag-aabang na mga financial analyst, right? Like ano yung mga financial analyst? Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, mga HSBC. Kasi itong mga financial analyst, they will make recommendation sa stock kung ang stock ba yan na yan ay sell, buy, or hold, right? Ay papublish nila yung report na yan, right? And then itong mga financial analysts then in big companies, they're also working with their brokerage department, right? So kunyari, ako financial analyst ako ng HSBC. Yung report ko, gagamitin niya ng brokerage department ng HSBC to consider buying the stock or selling the stock of the company that I am following, right? So ganun yung company namin. Maraming financial analysts that's covering it because it's the major it's the biggest food manufacturer in the Gulf region. Gulf meaning Saudi, UAE, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, yung 6 na countries. Sila yung pinaka-biggest food manufacturer. So, napaka well-followed siya na company. So, ngayon, yung CFO, kapag nagre-report na ng income yung accounting department, before pa yun i-audit, right? Kasi dapat may auditor na ibang firm. So before pa yan i-audit, magmi-meeting na yung CFO. Kasi kunyari, masyadong malaki yung income nung firm o ng company. Gagawa ngayon yan sila ng mga provisions para matago yung ibang income, right? Kasi and ako being a young accounting graduate, hindi ko maintindihan sa una. So, tinanong ko yung CFO, sabi ko, kasi we were on a first name basis. Sabi ko, Paul, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to book some income in the provisions? And sabi niya, ganito kasi yan, Chris. If I release to the market, ganitong level, kita niyo yung kamay ko, ganitong level of performance, right? So if I tell the market, okay, the company made, say, 50% increase in profit. The following quarter, they're gonna expect more. So, sa Bisaya, maghangak daw siya, right? So I don't want to do that. So I want to give the market only what it's expecting. So if the previous quarter, yung income guidance ng company was only about 15 to 20%, ganun lang din yung i-release nilang income. Para yung graph, slightly lang, slightly going up, hindi pa ganun, hindi steep, right? Kaya nagbo-book siya ng provision. Ganun din sa financials. I mean, that's the real world. They're trying to be conservative. They don't want to put themselves into the market and say, we can do 50% increase in income. Because again, the market will expect the same level of performance the next quarter, right? So that's also managing expectations, right? Nakuha niyo yung example? Why some accountants practice conservatism or prudence?
Yes po.
All right. Tapos, sa ang isang ano naman pang counter ng provisions is that kapag hindi maganda yung performance ng company for the given quarter, magre-release naman sila ng provisions ngayon. So kung ano yung 'di ba sa Tagalog kung may isinuksok may madudukot. Ganun din. Kapag disappointing yung performance ng company in that particular quarter, magre-release naman sila ngayon ng provisions. So tatawag ngayon sila ng auditor, ng financial accountant kasi syempre may standards yan, di ba? May IFRS na pina-follow kasi most of the world IFRS na, US na lang yung GAAP. So dapat align pa rin yun sa standard kasi pag inaudit yan, makikita yan. Bakit may provision na binook dito tapos ni-release? Ano yung standard na finalo? Right? So sa financials, i-disclose yan sa notes to financial statements na this year or this quarter, we release provision from this, kunyari, provision for lawsuit or provision for impact on foreign exchange, mga ganon, right? So, doon papasok yung financial standards. Kasi again, kung publicly listed company ka, ino-audit ka din. Right? So, dapat lahat ng ginagawa mo sa financials can stand the test of an auditor's test. Right? Kasi hindi mo pwedeng mag-provision ka lang only because you wanna hide the real profitability of the business. Kailangan mo pa din yung sundin yung standard. Sabi nga nila, you have to know the law to break the law. Right? You have to know the law to break the law. Have you heard of that? So ganun sa real world accounting, guys. No, hindi lang yan. Si Villar hindi nag-follow sa conversation principle. Good catch, Juvie. Good catch. Totoo yan. Ano bang nasa isip nila, no? Bakit sila mag-1 trillion, 'di ba? Iisipin mo, magka-catch talaga yun ng attention ng everybody. Imagine mo, isang publicly listed company in the Philippines nag 1 trillion net income. 'Di ba? Never in the history of the Philippines yun. So, it will really catch attention. Yes, Kathy.
Kasi po gusto nila masama sa Forbes magazine, 'di ba? Dati kasama sila sa top companies. So pagka nandun sila, baka sila yung number 1.
Kaya pala. They want it for prestige. Kalokang mga Villar. At the expense of the trust of the... Pero hindi naman kasi maiintindihan ng common tao yan eh. 'Di ba? Kunti lang yung nakakaalam ng mga valuation ng mga ganyan. So, ng mga tao akala pa rin, ewan ko. So much for that. It's 6 minutes before 9. Let's stop at the 4 accounting principles. So far, naintindihan naman, na-put naman natin in context kung ano yung conservatism, ano yung separate entity, ano yung reliability, at saka full disclosure, right? Na-simplify naman natin, naintindihan naman ng mga yung mga walang accounting background.
Yes
Okay naman
po.
tayo, guys. Hindi naman
po.
masyadong nag-bleed yung mga brains natin.
Di naman po.
Na-crack
Right.
lang.
Great. So, yung mga hindi masyado pang alam yung QuickBooks Online, again, explore nyo yung test drive ng QBO. Try to do invoicing, try to do bill, try to do expense. Marami kayong pwedeng gawin doon. Hindi naman masisave yung lahat ng ginagawa nyo doon. Pagka-close nyo ng test drive, everything that you did will disappear. Right? So you can do whatever you want inside the test drive para ma-familiar kayo sa features ng QuickBooks Online. Okay? Para pagkatapos ng course natin, may certification na kayo, meron pa kayong alam sa accounting a little, hindi naman talagang magiging advanced. At saka alam niyo na i-navigate yung QuickBooks Online, di ba? So hitting multiple birds in one stone. Do you guys agree?
Yes
Yes.
Agree.
Yes, agree.
Yes po.
Lalo na guys, kapag nag-present kayo, di ba? Mas may ma-earn nyo pa yung mabuboost yung confidence nyo, yung com skills nyo, lahat na, yung soft skills, right? So, I look forward to people presenting, okay? Na kayo yung magna-navigate ng screen, kayo yung mag-share, kayo yung tatawag na mag-raise ng hand. Okay? Is that a deal? Is it a deal or no deal?
Noted po.
Deal.
It's a deal.
Deal. All right, great. So tomorrow, baka, tingnan natin before we end. May time pa tayo. Mayroon ba nag-volunteer for tomorrow? Sana mayroon. Wala. Wala pa for tomorrow. Ang layo pa ng mag-present, 9:17 pa eh. Baka naman meron. Lalo na sa Saturday, guys. Kasi di ba may meeting yung mga taga Cebu na meron ng community ni Yan. Gusto ko ding mag-join nun eh. So baka, natin, calendar. Ano ba yung Saturday? Saturday is 30th. Baka naman may mag-present ng 30th. I would really appreciate it. Para makinig na lang ako, hindi ako magpe-present.
Chris, sorry,
Yes,
I'm here. Na-move siya September 7, sorry. Kasi para may time, tsaka na-move yung punta ko dyan. Should be September 6 to 15. So yung Sunday, September 7, if available ka, okay lang ba? September 7 tayo, afternoon.
September 7. Okay naman. Actually, Cebu, Bohol, 2 hours away lang naman yun eh. So,
Sige.
September 7 is fine. Yeah,
Sige.
that should not
Okay.
be a problem.
So, magpo-post na kami ng may nakita na kaming location and para may time pa kami to prepare and nasa 40 na yung nag-sign up as of today. So, baka patalagan pa. Okay, thank you.
Di ba? September 7 daw, yung gusto mag-attend. Buti na lang na mention natin. Kasi kami ni Andre, magbubook na kami sana ng ticket. But yeah. Point ko lang dito sa presenter is kung gusto niyo mag-present, please feel free to do so. Anyways, we will be supported naman. Okay? But ang good thing lang kung mag-present kayo, again, is you will be overcoming yourself. Kasi alam ko marami sa atin may fear for presentation, may fear of ang daming reservations. But again, the way we would grow is we beat ourselves, right? We overcome our own fears, our own doubts, and yeah. Right, sige. May 2 minutes pa tayo. Thanks for joining. Go na kayo. Okay, wala ba ng question? What topic will be presented by the presenter? So, okay, Joanne, ganito yon. Di ba natapos natin ngayon yung 4 accounting principles, right? Doon tayo nag-stop. So, kung magpe-present tomorrow, that's where yan yung the presenter will start from where we left off today. You know what I mean? So, walang specific topic. So, kung nag-end tayo sa accounting principle today, ano bang next nito is tomorrow, knowledge check, tapos kung anong sunod, right? Tapos, for the next 2 hours, we'll cover the succeeding materials. Tapos, yung sunod na presenter, kung ano naman yung kung saan naman siya natapos yung previous presenter. You know what I mean? Walang specific assignment kasi sabay-sabay nga nating tinetake yung course, right? So, ang importante dito is that when you're presenting, it would really help kung may experience na tayo or we can, or kahit man mag-present lang kayo na kasi anyway, again, the way the community works is tulungan naman tayo, right? So, if someone or I personally would feel that I can interject and put some context, then I would do so, right? So kahit wala kang experience at all, pwede mong i-navigate lang, pabasahin mo yung mga members, and then mag-call ka ng people or you entertain questions so that maput into context yung mga topics na pinipresent. Pwedeng ganon. Like you're just facilitating the session, kumbaga. And of course, since you're facilitating, if you have your own input, mas madali na yun kasi you are navigating the course itself. You know what I mean? So just the way that somehow similar to how I do it, or kung may idea kayo how you can do it better than I do, then please feel free to do it. Okay? Again, guts lang yung kalaban mo dito, right? Hindi pareho sa tax na may specific guide and you can prepare kasi yon structured. Ito naman may sinusundan kasi tayong course na sabay-sabay natin na tinitake at may certification siya towards the end. Okay? So, sige lang. If you find it in your heart and courage to have it by tomorrow, I would be happy. If hindi naman, okay lang din naman. Right? Sige lang. Okay? Walang sapilitan. But again, if you want to develop your soft skills, now is your opportunity to do it. Okay? Kasi nga, ang bookkeeping na, actually, lahat naman ng virtual work, kailangan talaga okay yung soft skills mo. Hindi lang yung technical skills mo, but your soft skills as well. Right? Because that's how you will get clients. The way you present yourself, the way you present your ideas, you articulate your thoughts, that's how you will get your clients. Right? Copy? Clear? Do you guys agree with that? Right. So, having said that, 9:02 na, grabe 150, 160 pa din tayo. That means a lot of you guys are really learning and probably liking this course. So, kita-kita tayo ulit tomorrow, same time, same Zoom link. And don't forget to like and subscribe the YouTube channel. And then share natin yung page, and then especially the post about Nima's guesting on Saturday, 8 p.m. Okay? So, that's it for tonight. You guys have a good night, and take care, everybody.
Meet our free US bookkeeping course brought to you by the Borderless Accountants. We are inviting you to join our community. Live training, reputable tax firms as resource speakers, recorded, replayable at higit sa lahat, libre. To join, like and follow our official Facebook page, join our Facebook group for important updates, and fill out our Google form to be included in our mailing list. See you there!